All right, so the time now is at 7:30, children. All right, so usually I call your children, all right, because you are younger than me, right? All right, and I hope to have children your age also. Then I can relax a bit. All right, Ice is coming in, so let's admit him first. All right, so children, my name is Ben Ong from 88 Tuition. So if you have the e-learning platform, right, you could have seen my face everywhere, lah, huh? So I'm the lead teacher in the 88 Tuition Math. All right, so hello, Ice. All right,
Hi.
so hi, okay, good. So as you can see, right, the rule says that the videos must be on lah and mute your mic lah. But I understand that you guys are Sec 2 and you are a bit shy. All right. So yeah, let's just leave it as that. All right. So I hope that you will be behind your computer at least, let's say 90% of the time. All right, at least learning something from what I have to do today. Ken, so I trust you on that. If you have any question that you want to ask, or maybe you spot some of my mistakes, you can actually go to the chat and type in. All right, I'll be looking constantly at the chat to see if there's any questions you have for me. Is that okay? Okay, so before we start off with today's actual lesson, last week I did give you a homework. All right, last week I did give you a homework, which is this. All right, there are 3 parts to it: part A, part B, part C. All right, one more student is coming in. Yeah, Sherman. All right, so one more student's coming in. Let him come in first. All right, his name is called Sherman, not Shitman. All right, so children, let's take a look at the first question of the homework, shall we? Ready? Sherman, are you there? Yeah. So as you can see, Sherman, today everybody off their video lah. So you may want to off also. All right, if not, you'll be odd one out. What, really? Okay, so let's talk about this question first. This was your homework. So this question is related to a little bit of inverse and indirect proportion. Let me use the primary school method to attempt this question. All right, you might like my drawing. So it takes 5 workers to paint a house in 4 days. Look, children, 5 workers. All right, they required what? They required 4 days to do what? To paint a house. Right, to paint one house. Is that okay? That is the clue that is given to you down here, first line. So usually if with the clue, right, I will just draw out something simple. All right. So here comes the question. How long will it take 8 workers to paint the same house? So what is constant here, children? The thing here is the one house is constant. Right? To paint the same house, right? Correct or not? So now you're looking for what? You're looking for 8. You're looking for 8 workers. But children, before you find 8, right, can I purposely find 1 worker first? All right. How do you find 1 worker? If you're only given 1 worker, how many days will that worker need? Is this a direct or inverse proportion? You have to kind of use your common sense, children. All right. So from 5, how do you get to 1? Down here is a divide by 5. Down here, if I divide by 5, right, it will be crazy, children. 5 men required 4 days to paint one house. All right. 1 man. All right. If I got 1 man to paint the entire one house, you take 4 divided by 5. Wow, 4 divided by 5 is like 0.8 days, Then in that case, I will rather employ the 1 person. Correct or not? What for I employ 5 people? 5 people take 4 days, I rather employ that 1 person. 0.8 days can finish painting my house. Correct or not? Something wrong with the numbers? Yes, something wrong. All right. So this one is what you learn in primary school. So down here is an inverse proportion. Divide by 5 on the left, you have to times 5 down here to give you a 20 days. Does it make more sense? 5 people required 4 days. 1 person, 20 days. He need more time. Correct. And here comes the question. How about 8 workers? 8 workers, to paint the same one house, All right, so the house is the constant. The house is the constant. All right, so from 1, how do you get to 8? 1 times 8, right? Now you know the pattern. Down here is a divide, down here is a times. You know the pattern. It's an opposite, it's an inverse proportion. Down here is a times. What do you do down here? It must be a divide. All right, 20 divided by 8 is what? Sure, 20 cannot divide by 8. Children, Sec 2 already leh. Sec 2 still cannot divide. Press your calculator lah. Your calculator can divide, right? 2.5 days lah. Sure, got decimal. Again, you are Sec 2 already, children. Stop it. right? You are supposed to be able to handle decimals. 2.5 days means 2.5 days. Why cannot? Right? So that's the way I will do it. Is that okay? All right, so I will always start off with what the question gives me, and I slowly adjust. And when I adjust, right, can you see something? Something will always be held constant. Can you see that? Right, the one house never move. Then everything else down here is adjusting. So you always hold something constant. Look, down here I purposely hold the house constant. Constant means the same lah. All right. Then down here when I do this part, I hold the house constant. I never move the house. All right. That's why it's still at one house. Then I go and move these two. All right. That's how you compare. You only compare two items, one item and two items. Understand or not? So this was your last week's homework lah. Not too difficult. That's for part A lah. Part B. Let's check it out. All right. Let's check it out. Children, if you're thinking you're thinking that I'm going a bit too fast, right? You can actually do a screenshot or take a picture of what of all this working, just to let you know. Can? All right. So this video will actually be put into your dashboard if you want to rewatch the video again. Can? So the PowerPoint also, it will be put up into your dashboard for you to download. So you can download and print out. Okay, you can see my beautiful handwriting. Right, my drawing nice, right? Okay, no response. So sad. All right. Hey, if you all can respond a bit lah, like Sherman give you a thumbs up, you see? You know, he loves my drawing. Ethan also loves my drawing. All right. So maybe at the end of the year, December, I will start an art class. So I will try to ask Sherman and Ethan to join. All right. So part 2, part B. It takes 5 workers to paint a house in 4 days. Same question. All right. So 5 workers are required 4 days, right, to paint one house. Okay? Okay. If 1 out of 5 workers fall sick, ayo, choking. Oops, sorry, you heard that. Was unable to turn up for work on the last day. Ayo, why like that? All right. So that means, right, that means the 5 worker, right, these 5 workers has been working for how long? These 5 workers has been working for 3 days already, correct or not? All right. And on the last day, right, one of them didn't come to work, correct or not? All right, so that's the story. Okay. So I want to find out these 5 workers. All right, I want to find out these 5 workers. All right, in 3 days. I want to find out the 5 workers in 3 days. How many part of the house is being painted? All right, how many part of the house is being painted? That's my question here. All right, that's my question here. All right, because I want to see how much I need in order to complete the job. All right, so I want to find out this 5 person in the 3 days, because the 4th day, right? The 4th day never come yet. All right, in the 3 days, how much work have they completed? All right, so down here, right, what do I do? Down here, what do I do? Can you see what is constant? Can you see the 5 men down here never change? All right. Oh yeah, one more student, wait. All right, these 5 men never change, right? So we are supposed to compare who? We are supposed to compare these 2 person down here. Is that okay? Can, Okay, come. So down here, right, I purposely go and find out what is 5 men. All right. In the 1 day, these 5 men can complete how much of the house? That's my question. Can you understand? All right. Just now when I say, right, when you have 3 items, what do? You have to compare 2 items. So this person or these 5 people, you hold it constant. You don't touch it. So 5 person, 4 days, 1 house. Ayo, how come so many people coming in? Wait. Right. Yeah, my screen not big enough. All right, so I think got student coming in. Hello, Ali. Hi. And yeah, hi. And yeah, Chloe also came in already. Hello, Chloe. Okay, so hi, my name is Ben Ong from 88 Tuition. Right, this was the last week's homework, so I'm just going through. All right, if you can do listen. All right, so again, as I say, right, the first line, right, tells us the clue. 5 worker, 4 days, 1 house. If 1 day, how many part of the house is being completed? Look, from 4, how do I get to 1? Divide by 4, right? Down here, do I times 4 or divide by 4? It's actually a direct relationship. Can you see or not? 4 days, I do up the entire house. 1 day, what happened? I only do up 1/4 of the house. Can you see or not? 1 divided by 4. Does it make sense to you? So between the days and the house is a direct proportion. But for just now, what happened? Between the man and the days is an indirect proportion. Right? So you must be very careful. Use a bit of common sense. Use a bit of your thinking process in order to understand this. All right? Moving forward, come. So if I have 3 days, right? 3 days pass. So the 3 days, right? How many of the house is completed? Times 3 down here. Down here also must times 3. Can or not? So 1/4 times 3, right? 1/4 times 3 is actually 3/4 of the house is being completed. Are you okay with this? Right, 3/4 of the house is being completed by the 5 men over 3 days. Why do I have to find 3 days? Because this statement says that what? This statement says that on the last day, right, one of them fall sick. Okay. Oops, sorry. You heard that again? All right. So one of them fall sick. Can? And before that, right, before he falls sick, right, only 3/4 of the house is being completed. Which means what? Which means what? Which means that I got another 1/4 of the house to complete there. Can you see or not? All right. So one house is not completed, minus the 3/4 house that is being completed. All right. So I still got what? I still got 1/4 of the house that's still not painted, you know. Alamak. Can you see or not? All right. So moving forward, how much additional time is needed to complete the job? All right. So down here, right? How? All right. I have to find out the number of men. There is what? There is 4 men now, right? Right? Because 1 out of 5 worker is sick, what? So now only got 4 men appearing, right? So the 4 men need to work how much? Right? So here comes my question. The 4 person, right, need how much time? How much time to complete the remaining 1/4 house? Do you understand the question? The 4 men, right? Because 1 person falls sick, right? The 4 men require how much time to complete the remaining 1/4 house? That's the question here. Right? So this is my question. So sometimes I write out my question, right? It gives me an idea what to do next. Okay. So now let me start all over again with the clue that was given to me, which was what? 5 worker requires 4 days to paint 1 house. Okay. So now purposely, can I find what is 1 person first? 1 person need how many days to do up the 1 house? All right. Again, children, if you can see, I'm still trying to keep 1 person or 1 item constant. So I don't change this one. Okay. So down here, from 5, how do I get to 1? Divide by 5. This is a indirect relationship. 20 days. Does that make sense? 5 people, 4 days. 1 person, 20 days. It makes sense, right? Because 1 person, how to work in 4 days? Cannot be, right? So 1 person, he will require more days to finish the job. And I'm looking for what? I'm looking for a 4 person. Look, I'm looking for a 4 person. So 4 person will require how many days? Right, 4 person will require down here, 1 times 4. Down here, divide by 4. 20 divided by 4 is 5 days. Are you still following? I hope so. To do up the what? To do up the 1 house. So the 1 house down here is still constant. Right? I never change anything. All right, I'm still comparing the 1 house. What do you see? I already got the what? I already got the 4 person already. Nah, I got the 4 person already. Very good. But I need to compare in terms of 1/4 house now. All right, I need to find 1/4 house now. So down here, I'm going to find 1/4. All right, 1/4 house. How do you find 1/4 house? And remember now the 4 person down here is constant already. Right. So this portion, right, is fixed. All right. So now you're comparing who? You're comparing the number of days and the how many parts of the house. Can you see? So from 1, how do you get to a 1/4? Divide by 4. Down here, what do you do? You must also divide by 4. Because down here is a direct relationship. 5 divided by 4 is a 1